Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 25th of September. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
And I'm Jeremy Rosens.
And great to have you on board today, Jeremy. And for those of you that don't know Jeremy, and I can't imagine why you wouldn't, but if you don't know Jeremy Rosens, he is our partner in our St Kilda office, which is situated at 55 Inkerman Street, St Kilda. Good to have you on board today, Jeremy.
Great to be. Very exciting.
We are in fact shooting from our St Kilda. This is our St Kilda office, Philip, that we're at the moment, shooting GPTV.
We are. We might give the viewers a bit of a visual tour of this some way during the segment.
Well, we can even right while we're speaking. We can have a look at some of the imagery of the building. It would be on the screen now, looking very beautiful, and some of the images of us at Luna Park and the team promoting the new office. And we had a big promotion, of course, when we opened the office in February. So back to Jeremy. How's it going?
Well, actually, before we talk about you, Jeremy, I just want to talk about it is Tuesday, the 25th of September, and I would like to send a special birthday message to your daughter, Gary.
Yes,
your daughter Nina turns 13 today. So,
does.
Neens, happy birthday! Yeah. Happy birthday from all of us at Gary Peer and Associates.
Yes, she has her arrival at being a teenager, and a cheeky one at that.
Scary.
And I expect no less from a peer. So thanks for that. Let's talk about you, Mr. Rosens, and talk about St Kilda, talk about the office, and how's it going for you?
Going very well. I think we're now probably about 6 months into it.
Yep.
Just shy of 50 sales.
Very good.
It's been a whirlwind few months, but we are now very much entrenched here and loving it. There's a really good culture around the office and making some headway.
Jeremy, of course, the director of Gary Peer St Kilda, and been with us for a long time, one of our auctioneers. In fact, it was our third auctioneer, and the first outside of you and I. Tell us a little bit about how you're liking it, Jeremy, here. Tell us a bit about the market, what's going on.
It's an interesting market. It's a bit different to CAULFIELD, although it's an exciting and vibrant sort of a suburb.
Sorry, how long have you been with us now, just as part of our team?
I probably came, I don't know how your daughter could be the age she is, because I think I've been here for that amount of years.
Yeah, probably have. Probably have.
Anyway, we won't.
And for those of you that don't know Jeremy well, and we'll hear a bit more about him, he has been with us for 13 years, although there were many years in the early days as he started with us as a young single guy.
Yes.
There were many times during those early years that he didn't almost work for Gary Peer and Associates.
My children do watch GPTV, so please.
Jeremy was on double secret probation for many years.
He was a naughty boy in his early days. We've distracted you. Sorry, continue. Please tell us about. You were talking about St Kilda, the market, how things are going, what's going on here.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about the suburb, your clearances, what's happening.
We're clearing pretty much all of our stock so far.
Good.
Just this weekend gone, we had 2 auctions and 100%, so 2 from 2.
Good, okay.
The market's a bit different here. I think the clientele are a lot different. They've got different needs and wants. It's a lot. The demographic is a lot younger.
It's a lot younger market. I notice when I'm coming to your auctions in St Kilda, I look around the crowd. Firstly, it's a seriously good-looking crowd, I've got to tell you.
We do pull them in St Kilda.
It's absolutely, I get a shock every time I come over. But
they get a shock
when they see me. But it's a younger market. It's certainly a very exciting, groovy market in many respects.
I mean, you've lived in the area as well. So
I have lived in the area, and even from our CAULFIELD office, I made a number of sales in this area.
Very
so I'm no
stranger
to it, but you know, the cafe culture's here with summer on the way. You know, St Kilda Festival coming up early next year.
It is going ahead because there was some controversy about that, wasn't it?
You've heard it first now that it is going ahead. I believe it was published in the paper. But
yes, news flash breakthrough launched today. News story broken today on GPTV. The St Kilda Festival is going ahead.
Thanks.
You heard it first on GPTV.
Thank you so much for making that official.
Go
on, please.
So I've completely lost my train. I don't know how anybody sits in this seat with you two guys here. It's unbelievable. No one gets any work done, but it is an interesting market, and I mean, this office location is an interesting location as well. We're sort of nestled in amongst some of St Kilda's finest, would probably be the best way to describe it.
This little area is on the corner, really just on the corner of Grieve Street and Inkerman, and Grieve Street is still considered to be the red light lane of St Kilda.
It's the working person's area, Philip, and as people that work, you know, it's not inappropriate for us to be in the working area.
No, we've all got a job to do.
Exactly. Tell us a little bit about how you've engaged with the St Kilda community. What have you been doing?
We've taken up a sponsorship of the St Kilda Junior Football Club, and
didn't they win one of the
City? They won one of the, I think it was the under 12s or 11s. They won the Lightning Premiership, I think it's called.
Amazing what happens when, you know, Gary Peer and Associates gets behind a football club. Gary just powers straight on.
Absolutely, exactly right. We should have taken Hawthorn maybe.
Exactly.
We've done a bit of work with them, and that's been the bulk of our community work. I mean, we're we're eating at all the cafes and drinking all their coffee. So from that point of view, we're helping fund the community.
And what are you selling here? What sort of properties that you've been selling?
We've had a huge range of properties, from $2 million homes in Elwood to studio apartments in St Kilda. So across the board, we've made, as I said, close to 50 sales. And anything and everything we've sold.
And just to give those people watching GPTV a flavour of St Kilda, what's a basic one-bedroom apartment cost?
Anywhere from sort of $350 onwards.
And a two-bedroom?
Probably 500 is your benchmark.
And to buy a little single-fronted house in a reasonable location, what have you got to pay today?
In a reasonable location, if you've got 2 bedrooms plus, you're probably beyond 7. 7 to 8.
And do you think the market's going to go up? Price is going to go up in St Kilda? Do you think that that's going to happen, or
I think everything goes up. But I think it's a great place to invest because there's people that want to live here.
It's a pretty hot rental area too.
It's a hot rental area. It's got a great vibe. People want to live in St Kilda. So from a rental point of view, you couldn't go wrong buying something.
Fair enough. So great to have you on the show, Jeremy. Fantastic to have you on the show. So hang around while we talk about the weekend that was, and what another successful weekend it was for Gary Peer and Associates. Not only was it successful for us with 6 auctions out of 8, which gave us a 75% clearance rate for the weekend, but it's also great. We did smash again the industry rate, which was 63%, but great to see the industry rate well up on last week, where I think it was 57% last week. So as much as we're proud of our results, it's great to see the industry clearing more stock, which is a great sign about the marketplace.
Real estate's on the go. I mean, the bad news is the volume's not what it was, but the good news is that things are selling and buyers are accepting, to pay what they have to, and vendors are meeting the market. So tell us a bit about the weekend that you had, Jeremy, because you started off in Brunswick.
I did. I packed my lunch and got in the car and drove off to Brunswick, which actually isn't that far away.
Well, Brunswick really is the St Kilda of the north.
Yes, a lot of single-speed bicycles.
Or people in Brunswick would say St Kilda is the Brunswick of the south or the east.
That's why we won't listen to them.
Go on.
A very good auction there. We had a lovely house on a corner block. And we started the auction, I think we were there at 10:30, and before I could even call for bids, they were out the gates with an opening bid, which was quite up there, close to the reserve. We ended up having 4 bidders fight it out. Reserve of 500, ended up selling for 543 under some pretty strong competition.
Fantastic.
And the buyer actually had only visited the property for the first time on the day.
And the auctions can do that.
Happens a lot.
A busy weekend. We had a great Saturday. We actually had 4 that we put under the hammer, and they all got sold, which was great. I started off on Saturday in BAMBRA Road, Phillip, a property opposite the park.
Great spot
which we passed in and sold immediately after the auction, so that was pretty good. And then I rocked up to Maud Street to see you in action, Phillip, at that lovely home in Maud Street is it McKinnon or Ormond there?
It's Ormond actually, and on the Ormond Hill. Interesting, I'm going to talk about that in a moment because we passed that property in, but I just want to go back to BAMBRA Road.
You can, if you like to.
For those watching, it's a strategy of most professional real estate agencies that we don't always put a property on the market. Often by passing a property in, we do get a better result in a post-auction negotiation. And we do call a property that is sold as a result of a post-auction negotiation an auction sale. So you'll often see a report in the Age newspaper where a property has been sold. You might have been at the auction where it was passed in, but a post-auction negotiation sale means a result, means a successful auction.
It is deemed in our industry that if you sold a property, at the auction, the day of the auction, it's an auction sale as such. You're right.
So in Maud Street, we had a reasonable crowd there, Gary. We had I put in a vendor bid of $1,450,000. We had a party put in an offer of $1,475,000. We passed it into them, and it took us about an hour to negotiate the sale. We did get that over the line at a price which we can't talk about, which I was about to talk about, but we can't talk about that. But it was sold for in excess of $1,475,000. Interesting, Gary, I did some numbers on this. We sold that property back in 2006 for $1,100,000.
And at that time, it was the sale in Ormond. I think the first one that record got over $1 million.
Record price for the time. And keeping in mind that 2006 to 2012, we've gone through a fairly significant real estate rise and then a dropping off in the last 12 months. And I think I worked out that these people had got a return on their money per annum of about 7%. if we assume their
Thereabouts,
rental in that as well.
That's
So
right, probably more.
it's really interesting to see that even in a strong rise in the property market followed by a
back
dip,
off,
they still did really well.
Yeah, they did do well, and we've had a great run. That whole Ormond McKinnon area for us has been fantastic. We've had some phenomenal results.
We really
some
do sell the
big
best
results.
homes
You've done
there.
a lot of business there as well, haven't you, Jeremy, in that pocket?
over the journey.
And in fact, even though Jeremy is in St Kilda, one of the things and the beauties of our organisation is that you can still sell anywhere and everywhere. We don't have any boundaries. It's not a franchise situation. So if you're someone that knows Jeremy, but you've got a property that isn't in the middle of St Kilda, I guess it's not really where you are. It's more who you are and how you do business. That's important today. Talking about other results, you did one after that in Westbury Street, and that got sold.
Unit 9 at 38 Westbury, which we had some competition. We had 2 bidders fight it out. We ended up passing it in at 570 and ended up getting a deal over the line shortly after.
Okay. Sunday, that was Saturday, clean sweep, 4 out of 4. Terrific Sunday. We did sell another property, of course, before auction. On Sunday, we had 3 auctions, one of them in the morning in Gerrard Street, a unit which I sold for an undisclosed amount. Then we went and we didn't sell AILEEN Avenue, but what a great house that is.
This is a gorgeous house. And I don't
we
think
featured that. We shot from there, didn't we?
We did. And this won't take us too long to sell because houses like this in this price range are very hard to find. Reserve is still being established.
Passing at $1 million. Looking for something over that now.
Really good house. We then had about 150 people at Wilkes Street, which is the most amazing property. We did
corner of Wilkes and Alma Road in Caulfield North.
And we now have a very sharp reserve price of $1,695,000.
That's a beautiful home.
Just a builder's
Did they
own
build it
home.
themselves?
They did.
Yeah,
They did. And it's
stunning
an incredible
home.
property.
Yes, a lovely home. So a couple still left from the weekend. There's also been a number of sales of other properties that were passed in previously that have been featured. So everything's selling out there, ladies and gentlemen. There still is a very, very strong market. Let's talk a bit about what's coming up. We've only got one this weekend, of course, grand final weekend. We have a very, very big competition going on, and we're now down to 2 teams. There's 11 people left, Philip. 3 of those people have gone for Sydney to beat Hawthorn, and I think the variation, I think that by 12, 14 and 16 points. So everybody who's thinking Sydney's going to win is within a couple of points. And there's, I think, about 10 people that have gone for Hawthorn to beat Sydney left. So if you're one of those people left, the lowest margin, I think, is 5 points. Highest margin, 41 points. So next week, it will go off. It will go off.
We might not be announcing the winner for a couple of weeks, though, Gary, because we do have the school holidays coming up.
We're doing some pre-records.
There's some pre-records, so I think
gave it away. The cat's out of the bag now.
We may not be announcing the winner of that for a couple of weeks, but don't worry, that iPad will still go off.
The last thing to talk about...
Not this iPad, this is the older model. I'm still working on
the last thing to talk about, Philip, which is my duty to bring to the table, is real estate porn.
Real estate
there is a
porn,
concept of real estate porn. And I've got to tell you,
I'm not quite sure this is the forum. This is, we don't rehearse
I've got to
these
talk
GPTVs,
I've got to talk about...
So I've got to talk about...
It's very timely that he's here. Now, one of the properties that we sold, I won't say which one, but one of the properties we sold on the weekend, the viewer is a keen, the buyer is a keen viewer of GPTV and said that they're very happy, and this is a good one for the camera people over here, they said that they're happy that the music has changed on GPTV from porn music. So I don't know why they felt that the GPTV music. So we might go back and maybe play some of the...
Well, I'm not so sure that we should.
Well, say the music. So they said they were happy. Well, I wasn't aware of that. I do remember a funny story. I don't know if you remember this, but when the realestate.coms came out, there was somebody that took all of the agent sites and made them porn sites. So GaryPeer.com was a porn site, and Kane Burton was a porn site, and
the number of people that used to just go in GaryPeerAssociates.com or Kane Burton or...
It wasn't
.au.
And
you just put in .com and the hardest porn would come up.
The other thing, I was watching a show on the weekend, Spicks and Specs, and they talked about the concept of real estate porn and talked about Marsha Hines saying how she loves going out on the weekend and viewing real estate open for inspections in her home of Newcastle. And Miff Warhurst, who's one of the featured people, said, oh, it's real estate porn. When you go on and you look at all the houses that you dream of living in, you know, that is her concept of real estate porn. And they talked about barely legal townhouses and,
what is
and
that
the like.
If there's real estate porn, what are we?
Oh, we're definitely the stars.
Or are we the pimps of real estate porn?
I'm not sure what we are, and I don't want to bring it down any lower than that. But
you know, for those of you that are watching, Gary Peer and Associates does not advocate the use of of internet porn.
No.
So just put that right out there.
But real estate porn is the concept of being aroused by beautiful homes that you may want to live in.
Look,
and that's a clean kind
there's
of...
no question that when we're
probably
out...
not described clean, but...
There's no question that when we're out on the open for inspection beat or the auction beat, we do see so many people that are not buyers, that are just out looking at auctions and looking at houses.
And auctioneers.
Because it's not only real estate porn, but it's real estate sport. I think a lot of people are totally involved in the real estate
You're trying
industry.
to make it clean now, aren't you, Phil?
I am trying
Very
to clean,
unlike you.
I'm trying to clean up the act because we are looking to ensure the higher ratings of the show.
Exactly right. Hopefully I'm not getting watched by Enzo Raimondo of the ROV. I'll probably get a
rating?
letter.
Do we
Hey?
have a PG rating?
We're going to need an X rating soon. Listen, thanks again for watching GPTV. I think on this note, we're going to bring an end to GPTV for the week. Thanks again for watching. I'm
Good to
Philip
have
Kingston.
Jeremy Rosens on.
Great
And
to
congratulations
be
on
here.
your
Thank
success
you.
and well
Thank
done
you.
in St
Thank
Kilda.
you.
As a
Thank
director
you.
of GP St Kilda, or Gary P Real Estate St Kilda, we look forward to seeing you. Have a great grand final week. Enjoy whoever your team is. For those people, Sydney people, good luck, because I think you'll need it. Who's your tip?
Hawthorn 12 points.
Hawthorn 28.
Hawthorn 35. See how we go.
Let's go.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
Have a
I'm
great
Gary
week.
Peer.
All the best.
Cheers.